Hello, this is Running Robert, and today we are playing Silk Road's Caravan Kings, a little game on Steam by Priory Games. It's pretty fun, not that bad. We kind of have our little map of the world here that we're going to be traveling through. This is played after the updates from January 2021, so there's some speed, which is really nice, and that you just don't get the same missions over and over again. So we're gonna go ahead and start a new game. There. We're gonna overwrite. So the bearer of this note is owed 19 silk, or the equivalent value at the time of delivery, which is not to exceed August of the year 1276, in exchange for 1700 ducats. Okay, so I have to head that direction. So when you made your mark in the contract, your better hands you more money than you have ever seen. You quickly head off supplies, purchasing traveling equipment and dried food. Supplies in hand, you head to the docks in search of fortune. 10 of joining the merchants have headed east. Where are you headed again? So first thing you do, there's two different directions we can go. We can go through the steep in Constantinople, or we can take the easy way and we'll take the ship. So we'll take the ship. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and skip that at the moment. So one of the big things is there are 3 game speeds that you have here. Huge improvement on the game as far as I'm concerned now. So said to bring luck, and certainly the bringer of a few pests. It is no wonder that every ship has its cat of its own. The cat of your current verse is taking quite a shine to you. The captain might be persuaded to part with for a price. I'll take a cat. So about the cats to think about for a while before he takes coin from you, reassuring he can't split up such a partnership. He promises that the Fraser will be relieved. Okay, so I got a cat. See here, I lost a little money, but I got a cat. Up here, you can kind of see food, money, camels, supplies, how I'm feeling, and how the party and everything is feeling that. Okay. They say that the Sierra has all sorts of positive effects. After a deep breath, looking at the horizon, you can't help but see why. But what does it really do? It's making me feel more relaxed. We'll go with that. There doesn't always have to be a health benefit for something to be good for you. Take another deep breath, think about half a glass of wine, and a snooze later. Not even the cursing of the sailors can keep up with these surroundings. That puts me to joy. So Joyous and Strong is as good as you can get for the most part. So we're just going to travel on this game route. So one thing we can do, we can egg up the speed here. The captain of the merchant the captain has asked the merchant aboard the vessel to attend to his cabin for evening for a fine dinner. It'd be a good place to be seen as well as a fine meal. There's a good chance to network. Yes. So all the merchants are dressed in their finery, ranging from fine silks to just above standard clothes. After being seated, a thimble of wine is poured as you discuss the intricacies of working in ducat over the Roman coin and the fair price of silk in the newly reconquered Holy Lands. I'm pretty bored with this conversation, but you see there, I lost that a little bit. Maybe I'm not quite as joyous, but a little bit better Christian for that. This is the sea air. Okay, I'm still relaxed. We're good with that. We speed along. A ship flying the hated Janus flag has been spotted on the horizon. Though your republics are in a time of peace, there's no doubt that they would resort to piracy. You must be prepared. We're going to pray. We'll see how that is. If you're headed up to heaven, there'd be a good time to get those sins out before you get there. You kneel on the bank, begin pleading with the Lord. It's not some hours later that you aroused. Apparently the ship fled at the first sight. Okay, so boom. The galley might be Venetians. The crew is a smattering of other cultures. It might be used for your journey to a Catholic, serve to these people in some way. Well, let's talk. So we're leaving the Latins. So let's go with the Tartar merchant. The Tartar's too distracted with counters and conclusions, pay much attention to you. Sit with him nonetheless and try to start up a conversation about his homeland. He looks in the distance as if able to see a great grass sea that he describes. The flat plains and the plentiful game. 55, 56. Okay, so we're going to go put this to 1 for a second just so we see. After duty, some of the sailors have taken the game of chance below deck. The players roll 3 dice and whoever has the highest count wins. The money is rather measly but could be a way to pass time. Well, I'll play for fun. You keep with the tradition of small bets, only adding in sums you consider chicken feed. It is enough to get your heart racing, but it does pass time. You almost forget to collect your winnings by the end. Yeah, lost. Okay, so if we go here, this is another screen. This shows you the reputation that we have with the other groups. So, obviously very good Christian reputation, poor with everybody else at the moment. What you do in the game is going to kind of help affect these. This is your skills. Obviously, you start as an amateur. You know, amateur with intelligence, that can increase the number of camels. With endurance, increase the time your supplies last. Agility increases walking speed and strength, how much I can carry. And then my supplies and equipment. Right now, just 22 food and a cat. We'll go back, and that's my first stop. During one of the few activities available on the ship, staring at water, you spot the dolphins swimming alongside your ship. You shout out in jubilation, calling for others to watch them and spring aloud. Storms are coming, he says. Well, let's go get drunk. Why not? You reach for the nearest thing that burns your throat and begin to guzzle. For the next few hours, the swip sways about violently, and you can scarcely move. You're relieved to wake after passing out entirely unscathed. You ask others for the news in the storm, and they look at you with puzzled faces. What was I drinking? I'm being joyous, though. I like it. Let's see. Another game of chance. We're just going to, again, play for that. Sailors are paid in coin as well as drink, and is a little surprised that one of their vices appears to be drinking. They seem to lack an excuse for most of the time, but this evening they have taken part in the drinking game. There's free space. Let's count me in. The rules appear to be drinking every time a wave rocked the boat. Have you been on the ocean at some point? Okay, apparently that's a little more sophisticated than that. The heavy alcohol is littered to help your understanding, and before long it matters not as you excuse yourself to sleep on the floor. Okay, so I've made it to the city, the first city. Okay, so opinions really haven't changed much for me, but I'm strong and joyous. So the first thing, I have lots of food, good amount of gold, no camels. But let's see what we have for food here. Obviously you can see silk is the most expensive, because that's what we're returning to. My supplies, a little expensive on the food, and I got some ivory that looks cheap. So obviously we want to do some trading on the way. For the moment, let's just supply it. Let's keep light. Not a big deal. I could go to the stable and buy a camel. I think I'm okay for the moment. I could rest. So if you are weak, you can increase these. I could work. So if you're strapped for cash, you can always spend a month working in the city. Due to your relations, you can get a job as a laborer for. That's well, okay. We're gonna go back. So we're gonna travel. You managed to find a caravan leaving soon for Baghdad. They say the journey is 23 days away, requiring 4 pounds of supplies. So we're gonna go ahead and travel. You're a man from far away. Kathy performs some sort of ritual. It's a fascinating meditative movement on the muscles, and he does it all in absolute silence. You think it is some sort of prayer, but upon questioning him about it, you discover it is what he calls a martial arts. I want to learn martial arts. The man laughs at you, claiming that you are not ready to learn the secret. Now, whenever you see him practicing, you prefer just to ignore him. I guess I'll just buy a sword. Oh, that helped me with somebody else. Alright. While your journeys often take you through lands of varying prosperity, you have scarcely seen poverty such as this. Across the road, you see masses of skeletal frames and bony outstretched arms pleading for help. Though they may be heathens, it is not your Christian duty to provide aid to these fellows. I'll spare some food. You discover scraps to the worst suffering among them. You fear it's only a drop in the ocean of food that you can just and the food you can spare disappears before the crowd, before it has a chance to form. But everyone like that. So. First, you accidentally put your best walking stick on fire. Then the strap broke off your satchel, and now you stubbed your toe on the rock for the time. This is clearly God punishing you for keeping company with such low people. I blame the sergeants. You know, you throw it in your bag and let them know exactly what you think of him, sparing him no amount of accommodation and threats of hellfire. When he overcomes the shock, he lets you have it right back. You yell yourself into exhaustion. But that made me worse with the Muslims. So as the caravan slows down for the night, you can hear shouts of glee and despair in foreign tongues. Upon this, you find a huddle of your fellow travelers playing a game of chance with dice. If your companions shuffle over to make room for you. Let me just bet a little bit. After mumbling a quick prayer, you sit down your small purse and begin to play. The crowd cheers and jeers with each roll. The game winds down slowly after sunset, and you find you made a small profit. Well, good, but not like there. Over your career, you start to collect quite a collection of bags. While none of them are any more special than a rough sack, which used to carry grain, you can't seem to let them go. After all, how will you find your apples if you don't have an apple bag? I'm gonna get them stitched together. That's probably good. Yep. Okay. Well, so that helped me with that. So I am. Let's see. Am I any better here yet? Still an amateur, but I'm getting better. Okay. The desert is about the harshest environment you can experience, so you manage to pack enough water for yourself. The camels are being forced to use their natural ability to go without water. One day, over a dune, you notice off in far distance an outline of oasis. Let's head towards it. You point it out. Let's venture over the stoop dunes and go down sheer sandy cliffs. Eventually, you come across a small freshwater spring. Your companions on the side of the camels and set for an early camp. Thoroughly refreshed in the cool water. I'm going to add this to the map. Whether through bad luck or poor planning, one of the local merchants who signed up with the caravans have found themselves out of supplies on a particularly barren stretch of road. It's been more than a few days now, and he seems to be getting progressively more desperate. I'm going to spare him some food. You hand the merchant some food, he reaches for an own coin and practically tries to force coin into your hand, but is rebuffed by you. Eventually, he meekly thanks and blesses you. Good. Okay. So a Tedar in your group has made a great sport out of hunting the local wildlife with his bow, from birds to rabbits. His camel is laden with so many animals it's starting to look more like a butcher's table than a merchant's pack. I want the bow. I'll get him. He eyes you with coin, some interest before laughing and taking them out of your hand. He explains that he's made more meat than he will need for the next few journeys, which will give him plenty of time to buy a new bow. So I picked up a bow, a little bit of money. Even all the way out here, God has sent an omen. A burning star streaks across the night sky with a fiery tail as long as the horizon. Ancestral bodies are at work in the heavens, and as far as you can tell, you're the only Christian around for many miles. It is signed just for you. We're just going to tread carefully here. You take a triple, checking everything, pausing to examine every step and bump in the road ahead until you can continue. It takes about a few weeks for you to travel the first mile. Wow, so I'm going to slow down a lot there, jeez. So, over the past few days, a companion, Sarsen companion has been drawing even weaker, setting up into camp late. Okay, so this guy, he's not doing very well. I'm gonna oversee his burial. You figured that the rites can't be so different. Your companion impressed that you took on responsibility for such little potential for personal profit. We're gonna get to Baghdad there. So, the moment a nice and plump peasant popped into view, you had been stalking it, waiting for the perfect moment, lining up your shot. Just as you loose the arrow, it gets caught on the frayed wood of your bow and thuds to the ground, scaring the bird away. Your bow needs some maintenance. I need a good bow. A local villager is willing you give your sanding down a bow, so they fix it. But it's been sanded too thin, so I lost my bow. You camp set up beside a local huntsman's shed while making conversation with him in front of some of his more impressive trophies. He happens to mention that he's been looking for someone to take his old bow off him for... You know, I'm okay with the bow. I do need some meat. I'm running a little bit low on supplies. Nope, yep. I've got a little bit of meat. Shoes crafted with the leather of a giant snake, which never wears out. A crystal ball that reveals your future. A cure for everything. This guy's a wizard. He's a wizard. Burn him. So let's see if we can get to Baghdad. We're almost there. Your little cat has turned into something of a killing machine. It seems like every evening the bodies of the dead pile up by your tent. Sometimes even young rabbits become victim of your pet. I don't see a problem with that. It's in the cat's nature to kill. Maybe the local area just happens to be having an infestation of wildlife. Your cat seems to be doing a good job clearing it up. Who likes the birds anyway? Black oil seeps out of the ground and parts around it, though the idea of black tar raising up at the ground sounds like devilry. In these lands, the oil is applied to the sores of camels as an ointment. Okay, well, we're not going to deal with that. They use it. Okay, so we're just about there. Yes, okay. So now we are in Baghdad. Let's look at the market first. We need some food. Let's pack up this food. We kind of run a little bit low on food, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna purchase a camel. We're gonna really load up on some food here. We're also gonna load up on nothing else. Right now I'm healthy, I'm joyous, I don't need rest. Work. I can work as a marketeer. I'm gonna pass on that. So, but you know, this is kind of the beginning of the games. There are definitely some things that this game could do better. You know, but overall, like, if you can get it on sale, I would definitely recommend it. It's fun just to kind of kill a little bit of time, travel, do what you need to do, and have some fun with it. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.